Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sarah and this is my granny era. Today I'm going to share with you guys all of the goals that I have made for January 2025. I have watched several videos that talk about we should make plans instead of goals, because when you wreck your goals you don't feel so guilty if they were only plans. And so I've been trying to figure out like what term should I use here. I'm just going to use goals because that's what I always use, but I definitely am going into any of my goals or plans or ideas or whatever's with the mindset that they're definitely changeable, they're definitely, malleable and manipulatable. I'm fine with all of that. These are just some ideas I have for a great 2025. 2024 was rough, and when I look back at the notes that I made last year and all of the things and all of the hope that I had for this year, it also makes me a little bit sad because none of that stuff happened really, as far as the peace and the calm and the easy time I wanted to have for the year. Didn't happen. So I have actually made some adjustments this year to make my future a little easier on me. And so hopefully 2025 will actually be that more calm, more peaceful year that I've been looking for. I do have a couple of non-book related goals that I'll get into here in a little bit, but let's start off with the things that actually pertain to books. Kind of the phrase I'm looking at and pertaining to my reading this year is I want to read smarter and think deeper. That doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to read more academically, although I would like to some degree, but I would like to take the time to really pay attention to what I'm reading. In the past, I have made lots of number goals and lots of time sensitive goals, and I probably still will this year, but in doing that, the downside can be that we focus so much on completing, right? We're checking boxes, we're crossing things off our list that we forget to actually enjoy and live in the moment. I want to be more careful about that this year. So whatever I choose to read, whether it's just fluff or something super academic or something in the middle, which is where most of it will fall, I want to pay attention. I want to catch things. I want to pay attention to the mood, the atmosphere, the description. I don't want to just fly through it real quick to get to the dialogue and keep moving along. I want to absorb the entire feel, all the emotion and atmosphere that author is trying to build around the story. And then I want to think about that. And then I want to write about that better than I have, rather than just rattling off yeah, it was great, not what I was expecting, but it was okay, fine, 4 stars, we're done. I don't want to be like that. I want to actually write thoughtfully about the things that I read. When I look back at my year of reading, it's kind of mediocre. So when I'm dealing with a book, I either want to take the time to absorb what I'm reading or decide just to DNF it and move on. I don't want to force myself to slog through something that I'm not interested in and not enjoying or don't have the hope of enjoying. I have heard several say that they want to do more standalone reviews in 2025. So do I. I really appreciate a standalone review, and I think it gives us the reason to think and write more thoughtfully and deeply on a topic. If we know that we're going to come on here and share it with all of you guys, right? If we know that we're going to, make a whole video about it, I know that I will take the time to really process through everything that I've read. Because I read 80 books in 2024, I should be able to put together like a top 10 or at least a top 5 favorites, a top 10 or top 5 worst. And I am going to attempt to do that tonight, but a couple of days ago I just quickly looked over my Goodreads list and I didn't have a whole lot of reads this last year that really stood out to me in a way that would make me want to make, a video about it and talk about it more at length. So I want to be in that place next year where I can have lots of things to talk about and compilations and all that at the end of the year, because my year of reading was worthwhile. There is something to say about life stuff kind of taking over brain space and making those stories forgettable when, other real life stuff sort of crowds in. So I am giving myself a goal this year of reading 100 books, and that may stand in complete contrast to everything I just said, but I have found that I can actually read quite a bit in a month if I can cut some other things out. So about Thanksgiving time, about end of November, I got off of Facebook. I'm only on Facebook to share my videos and to communicate with one group that I'm a part of. Other than that, I have stayed off of Facebook pretty good for 5, going on 6 weeks now, which is amazingly impressive. And in so doing, I am now on my 17th book of the month. And that is not normal for me. I'm usually like 5, 6, 7, ish. So that is one thing I know I need to do in 2025. I know I need to stay off Facebook. There are certain social media that I feel is good and positive for me. Facebook isn't one of them. But Instagram, my Instagram feed is pretty good. I've had that for a really long time, and I've been pretty careful about what I look at and follow on Instagram, so that, the algorithms, they got me figured out pretty good. So Instagram is usually pretty encouraging. And of course, I love my BookTube community. I definitely want to spend a lot of time here supporting and enjoying and learning from other booktubers. My Discord is connected with that. I recently started my own Discord, so you guys can find that in the description box. I've joined a couple others, and I really love that opportunity to chat as well. We're something that is focused, right? Where we're all trying to make a good experience for each other. That's the kind of online stuff that I want to be a part of. The idea of reading 100 books this year does scare me a little bit, but like last year, I think that I want to try to incorporate more audiobooks. Now, I said that last year and then I didn't do it, but I have had an Audible subscription, I just found out the other day, for 9 months now. I've been paying for 9 months and I'm not using it. So I know it's been 9 months because I had 9 credits in there. So I took advantage of their sale that they were having, where you could get 2 for the price of 1 on some titles, and I added some stuff to my library, and I'm really gonna take better advantage of Audible. I think that's going to help with my getting up to 100 books, as well as, like I said, just focusing more, right, on things that encourage me and inspire me, and then staying away from the things that don't. So looking at last year's genre goals, I had written that I wanted to read more American history, I wanted to read 10 poets, and more short stories, fairy tales, and fables, and maybe even a play. So I didn't do so good with that, and it's okay because that stuff doesn't matter to me as much this year as it did last year. I did not accomplish the poetry or play goals at all, although I did go and watch a play, so that was pretty cool. I probably read from a few poets, but not intentionally, just stuff that was in my kids' homeschool curriculum or something I came across, right? But I didn't really intentionally read much of anything as far as poetry goes. I did read a few fairy tales, but nothing significant there. I read more short stories than normal, for sure, but again, nothing that I can just sort of say, oh, I'm so glad that I found that compilation, right, of short stories. So it's kind of forgettable stuff. I did read 9 nonfiction that are sort of classified in there with American history, but when I went and looked back, I read 6 in 2023, so that's not really a super significant jump there either. I think this year I don't really have a certain form or genre that I really want to focus on. I just want to focus more on how I read and how I assimilate what I read. I want to read more intelligently and respond more thoughtfully and more thoroughly. I want to look at it as no obligation reading and DNF things when they're just not working for me. I am going to be participating in a few year-long challenges that I talked a little bit about in the last video where I was making my January TBR, so you guys can watch that to get the details on those. And then all the monthly stuff that we normally do. So I definitely wanted to participate in all that stuff and actually participate with the community, right? Go watch people's videos, comment, subscribe, and network, and go to their Discords and go to their Voxer and all the different stuff that you guys got going on. on and actually, you know, be a part of the community at a greater level. I started this channel in October of 2023. Last year at this time, I was right at 100 subscribers, and now today I have 250. I would love for my channel to grow. I think that'd be fantastic. The more people that are watching my channel, the more people I get to interact with, right? And so I think that having a great, you know, big community is super fun. I really have no other reason other than that's just fun to have a lot of friends and a lot of people to, you know, chat with and stuff. So yeah, I would love for my community to grow. So I don't have like a number goal, but if my community has, you know, doubled in the last year, then how great would it be if it doubled again by next year? We'll throw that out there and see what happens. So here's some of my non-reading goals, but kind of fit in with reading. I don't know, like reading is a part of everything. So writing. So my writing goals. I don't actually want any writing obligations this year. I have had writing obligations for so long in so many different venues. I just want a year where I don't have any writing obligations. I do have one book that I'm working on. I need to get finished up and printed off and, you know, marketed and whatever. But after that, I don't want any writing goals. But I would like to keep up with my reading and personal journals. I want to still write. I just want to write for me and not for anybody else. But only if I'm enjoying it, right? And I want to let go of the obligation to do everything the same way, the same time, all the time, right? So for instance, I have this reading journal. I started off doing it in this certain format where each month I would do these certain things. And then like one month I missed. And then I missed the next month, and then I was like, you know what? It's okay. I'm not gonna like go back. I keep telling myself I need to go back and fix it all and, you know, catch up. But I'm just like, no, I'm not gonna go back and catch up. I'm just gonna take it from right here and do the next thing. It's okay. You know how every year people have like a word for themselves or a phrase for themselves? I think my phrase this year is just gonna be lighten up. Like, you don't have to control everything, and I can't control everything. That's why 2024 was such a difficult year for me, because I was trying to control things that I cannot control. All right, YouTube goals, same as last year. I want to visit more booktubers. I want to form relationships with people who share my interests. I'm a very eclectic person just in general, and I have eclectic reading tastes. And so that is what is so fun about BookTube, because I'm finding that there's a lot of people out there with eclectic reading tastes, and that's great. I'm not a weirdo. I've just found my people. All right, next one, discovery. So last year I had a goal to visit 15 new to me bookstores, and I did accomplish this. I ended up visiting 4 local ones, like within, you know, my part of the state of Arkansas. I visited 6 in Michigan when my husband and 2 of our kids went to Michigan in August. I visited 5 when I went to England, 3 in Bath and 2 in London. Now, I visited more bookshops than that, both locally and in England, but they were ones that I had visited before. So these were brand new ones that I had never gone to before. So I got my 15 in. So I'm feeling pretty good about that. So I'd like to make that a goal again this year. I'm not planning a whole lot of travel this year like I was last year. Our family might try to make a trip to Oregon, and I'd really love to go back to England in the fall. But we'll see. Right now, nothing's actually on the books. But there are lots of towns within a day's drive that I have not yet checked out anything about, let alone their bookshops. So I think I just kind of need to even get out more on day trips here and see what I can find book related. I'd also like to visit more historical related sites. So I did make a video in September. I'll put it up here if I remember for you guys, but I made a video in September that my daughter and we took a trip to Fort Smith, which is just a couple hours south of me here in Arkansas. And we saw some cool historical sites, and we visited some bookshops and things there. I'd like to do more of that kind of stuff. The history of my part of the nation is very heavy on Civil War history, and that's just never interested me. I've never really been into that time period, at least not in America. The Victorian age in England, yes, I've been interested in, but the Civil War era in America, not so much. So maybe I need to just see some more stuff, or maybe I need to see what other kind of history is in my area. But I would definitely like to get out a little more and see what is around me. And then finally, I have some business goals, which this is new for me. I've never had business goals before, but this year my Etsy shop did so well that I can call it a legit business now. So feeling really good about that. I have a shop where I offer sewn items and, you know, clothing and that kind of stuff, and some jewelry and things, but I want to branch out a little bit and do some book related stuff there. I want to add book sleeves, so like little pouches, you know, you can put your book in when you put it in your bag so it doesn't get all wonkied up. And then I also want to start offering blind date with a book. So that's where you wrap up a book and you put some clues on the outside, you decorate it all cute, you send it with a few little doodads like bookmarks and stickers, and then people order them and then they get, you know, unwrap it and it's this surprise book. I didn't even realize that people were doing that on Etsy. So I think I'm gonna add those. And then I think also, I like to make like tea stained paper, make it look kind of old, you know, antique-y sort of things. I'm thinking about offering some paper ephemera in my shop, just things that people can use for junk journaling and such. So those are goals I have for my shop. Last year I got over 1,000 sales, so I'd like to maybe get over like 1,500 this year. That would be cool. But we'll see. It's just fun. It's just stuff I do for fun. All right, guys, that is pretty much my 2025 goals. Hope some of that inspired you. I would like to hear about what kind of goals you guys have. I've been watching various videos for the last couple of weeks trying to get inspiration of what are other people thinking, what are they wanting to do for the year. And so let me know if you guys have some stuff that you are thinking of and wanting to do for the year. Hope everybody is having a great day. Have a happy new year. I will see you next year. All right, bye.